That's fine. We're going to work through it together. Okay, so number 1B, they said calculate the following. Minus 27 plus 15, and that would give you minus 12. Okay, so that was pretty straightforward, yes? Yeah. But in the test, you'll see I won't give you ones as simple as these.
And I think the books are different. Mine would be different. No. Mine says minus 73, minus 110. Oh, no, that's A. And the thing is, I'm just stupid.
Right. At D.
Sorry, guys.
Minus 52, minus 55 plus 72 minus 104. Now, according to BODMAS, because we only got addition and subtraction here, we could actually go from left to right. Order didn't matter. So your answer here would be minus 87. Okay. Then at F, 43 minus 12 minus 105 plus 70. Again, just from left to right. And that would give you minus 4. Okay, then 2A. We had minus 15y plus 6y. Now, please remember that the instruction said simplify the following. Now, because they were like terms, they both have y as an unknown, we could go and add or subtract, right? So your answer here would be minus 9y. Please remember that the unknown stays the same. Okay. Then D. Can I skip? D was 11A minus 19B plus 22A minus 12B. Okay, so first things first, we can only add or subtract like terms. So you'll see I've got 11A, and what would be like terms? The positive 22A. Okay, so that is going to give me 33A. Then minus 19B and minus 12B are like terms, and if I subtract those, it's going to give me minus 31B. You guys good with that? Okay. Remember, if you used any other combinations, it would definitely be wrong. Okay, I can only put those together that have the same unknowns, meaning like terms. Okay, then F. Minus 15A squared B minus 19AB Okay, so again, we need like terms. Money. Okay, let's look at the A squared B's first. Minus 15A squared B plus 44A squared B. Can you see I include that sign as well? No? Okay, so minus 15 plus the 44 gave me 29. And remember, the unknown stays A squared B. Then the minus 19AB and the minus 61AB can be simplified, and that's going to give me minus 80, still AB. You guys all understand? Okay, number 3. B was minus 150 plus x is equal to 0. So the first thing that we wanted to do here is move that minus 150 to the other side, right? Okay, so, whoopsie. Sorry, yeah? No. B, D, E. Sorry, B, D, F. Okay, so I'm going to say x will then be, and this step you didn't have to go and include. You could have skipped directly to x is equal to 150. Any questions there? Okay, then at D, we had minus 86 minus x equal to, is it minus? Yeah, minus 110. Okay, so did you guys move the x as well, or did you keep it minus x for now? What I'm going to do is take that one to the other side. So then I'll have minus x is equal to minus 110, and then when that one goes over, it becomes plus 86. So minus x is equal to minus 24, yes. But the thing is, I want to get rid of this minus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say divide each side by minus 1. Which means that, positive x will then be equal to positive 24. You guys good with that? Okay. Now f. Can I skip? Okay. Yeah. Maybe you just put it into the calculator wrong. Something like using 85 maybe instead of 86. It's probably just a small. So I can't think of any other way that you would have gotten minus 25. Okay. Can I skip? Okay, so f was 5x is equal to minus 85. Now, one of two methods. Do you guys put it over 5, or do you take it over and say minus 85 divided by 5? Okay, so it's the same thing, no? I want to get rid of that 5. So when I take it over, it's going to become x is equal to minus 85 and then divided by 5, which means that x will be minus 70. Okay, then 4a. At 4 it says, which of the following are like terms? So you just had to look at the unknowns. 2ab and the 8ab. They would be like terms because they've got the same unknowns. They both have a, they both have b. Okay? Then at c, you would have 10a squared b is the same as, or like terms to minus a squared b. And then the last one, e. Okay, this one was slightly more difficult. Remember we said even when we multiply in 5x squared y and minus x xy. Yeah. Oh, ek het verkeerd. Sorry. Sorry, that's D. Sorry. Skus, julle het verkeerde enetjie gedoen. E will be A times AB. That's the same as 2A BA. Okay, because if I were to go multiply them out, this is going to give me A squared B, and that would give me 2A squared B. So can you see? They both have A squared and they both have B. That's why they would be like terms. Okay, any questions there? Okay, can I skip? Yeah. I'm skipping back quickly. Divide by? Oh, because of this minus there. We always want to end with x is equal to something, not minus x is equal to. So to get rid of that minus, there's actually a minus 1 in front of that x. So to get rid of that, I said divide each side by minus 1. And a negative divided by a negative would give me a positive. Okay. Anything else? Do you still need to copy from this, Malcolm? Not. Okay. Any questions over here? None. Right. So now let's just quickly recap. So when we add or subtract, first things first, we can only do it if we have like terms. So it must use like terms. And the second thing that you must remember there is the after addition oh nee, something lelik. After addition or subtracting, or actually subtraction, the unknowns stay the same. So meaning they don't change, only the coefficient changes, right? Okay, now the next part is when we multiply or divide. Now when we multiply or divide, it doesn't have to be like terms. And the second thing that you've got to remember there is the variable or the unknown can actually change. Okay, depending on what it is multiplied with or what it is divided with. Okay, right, so let's use an example of that. Can I skip to the next slide? Okay. Tell me when you're done. Alright. Okay, it's fine. When you're worrying it. Okay, anyone else? Okay, are you done? All right, so example first. Example 1, where am I first? Example 1 is I give you minus 4x in brackets, and then directly after that, a new bracket with minus 3y. Okay, now, what is actually written there is minus 4x times minus 3y. When we've got two brackets directly next to each other, it means that we've got to multiply them with each other. So everything in the first bracket must be multiplied with everything in the second bracket. Okay, so what we're going to do is we first start with the coefficients and then with the unknowns. Okay, so minus 4 times minus 3 is going to give me positive 12. Okay, and because we're multiplying, we said we can multiply terms that are not like terms. Né? So we are allowed to multiply. Then the second thing we said is it might happen that the variable or the unknown changes. Okay, right. So what we've got here is x, and we've got to multiply that with y. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say that's going to be xy. So can you see that the variable or the unknown changed? Okay, you guys good? Any questions there? Okay, let's just do a similar one, but now I'm going to say for x, and then a bracket after that, so 2xy. Okay, now even though that 4x hasn't got a bracket around it, because it's standing directly next to my bracket, there's no sign in between here, then we know that we must still multiply it with what's written inside the bracket, right? Okay, now, what do we multiply the bracket with? Only the x or the 4 and the x? The 4 and the x, because they are seen as one term, no, one thing. All right, so basically it would be the same as saying this. No, okay, but I'm going to leave that out because I want you to see that we can still multiply. Okay, so let's use the same steps. We first multiply the variable, the coefficients. So 4 times 2 is going to give me 8. And now x times xy will become x to the power of 2 or x squared y. So again, you'll see that the variable changed. Okay, but that only happens when we multiply or divide. Right, now we can step it up a bit. What happens if I give you a fraction? Okay, now they can either say this, minus 24 x squared y, and then say divide by 8 xy squared. Okay, they can either give it to you like that, yeah?
So basically when you look brackets, like terms don't really...
Sorry, basically we use brackets.
I mean, like terms don't really...
And like terms doesn't apply here, no. When we multiply or divide, like terms do not apply, yeah. Okay, so they can either give it to you like that, or that's the same as saying minus 24 x squared y over 8 xy squared. Do you guys agree? Okay, so remember I can give it to you either way. Now I like working with it from a fraction because then it's easier to see what you can actually cancel out. Okay, but it's not wrong that if I give you a fraction, you go write it in this method and then simplify further. Both would be correct. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say the minus 20, only look at this part, the coefficients for now. Minus 24 over 8, and people, we can actually cheat. Right? We can cheat, we can put that fraction into your calculator and just say equal, and it would automatically give you the simplest form, which is going to be minus 3. No. Okay, now we also have to look at, now we said minus 3, okay, but that's a whole number. So when we have it in the form of a fraction, you're actually going to say x will go in once and x will go in here minus 3 times. No. Okay, then look at the x's, and you can only take the lowest exponent. So at the bottom, I've got x, meaning x to the power of 1. At the top, I've got x to the power of 2. So I can't take x to the power of 2 both at the top and the bottom because I won't have enough at the bottom. So I can only take the lowest exponent, so meaning x to the power of 1 or just 1x. So if I take an x at the bottom, I can take 1 at the top, which means that there would only be 1 left there. Yes. Okay, now let's look at the y's. Y, and at the bottom, y to the power of 2. So I can take a y, which means at the bottom, I will have y left. Okay, now I just want to do this because it looks awful when it's scratched out like that. Okay, so this will be equal to minus 3x, and at the bottom, all we had left, actually it was 1y, but that's the same as just y. No, yeah.
So what happens to the y?
Okay, what happens to the y's is I take y at the top, and here's 2 y's, no? So I can only take one of them, so meaning a y would be left at the bottom. Okay. No, because then your y is technically at the top. If you write it like that, because this is the same as over 1.
Okay.
No. All right, any other questions here? Yeah. Like, yeah.
No, like the
Mixed number?
no, like the actual number, like minus 24 is actually smaller than 8. Let's say it's 8 over minus 24.
Oh, you mean that it, yeah, we could, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'll do an example like that now. Okay. Can I skip? Okay, let's do one like that. And then I'll let you guys try on your own, eh? Okay, so I'm going to give it to you in fraction form. Okay, there we go. Try and simplify that one for me. Yeah?
Now, by example, we could only have one, like, with went over one another if it was in brackets or is in brackets.
It can be without brackets as well. Whenever you see divide, because that's actually what this little line means.
So the bracket, for example, 3 isn't really this.
No. You guys finished here? Yeah? Yeah?
So can you make it like, you know, when you don't put it like that? Okay, it's like that long.
Yes, you can. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, you guys done with this example? Okay, so let's see. Over here you would have 2 will go into itself once, and 2 will go into 16 8 times. Then at the top I've got x to the power 3, and at the bottom x. So if I were to cancel out, I will only have left x to the power 2 at the top. Then y's, I've got y to the power 2, and at the bottom y. So I can only take out y at each one of them. So meaning it would look like that. Who got that? Good. Okay. The rest of you, do you understand where you went wrong? Huh? Otherwise, quickly ask. Yes, I'm gonna write it down here and then I'll delete afterwards, right? Okay, so it was 2x to the power 3, y to the power 2 divided by 16xy. Okay, so 2 divided by 16 gave you a quarter, 8, no? And x to the power 3 divided by x gave you x to the power of 2, and y to the power of 2 divided by y will give you y. Yeah, so what's written here and what's written there is the same thing. Okay. Okay, now I just want to quickly add, you'll see on the right hand side, I made a note there saying, very important, when we have fractions, please remember, we can only cancel out if we have got one term at the top and one term at the bottom. Okay, so if you were to have something like this, 2x to the power 3 plus y to the power of 2 over 16xy. Then I can't cancel out because at the top, how many terms do I have? 2. So that's not going to work. Okay? Please remember about that. Then, how do we cancel out? We cancel out up and down or across. Okay, so let's just do an example like that. Meaning, if I were to give you 2x over 8y times like that. Right. So we can go and cancel out. You could have cancelled out up and down over here, meaning that 2 and this 8 can be simplified. Right? You could also cancel out like this, across, or these two. Do you guys agree? Okay. Do you want to try this one on your own quickly? Okay. Kom ons kyk gou. So this x can cancel with that one. No. This y will cancel with one of those y's. And then 8 can go into itself once, and 8 will go in 2 times, and then that 2 doesn't cancel out at all. No. Yeah. Okay. Can I just delete that? And then I'll write the final answer. So you're going to have over here we had 2 over 1 actually times, and that was 2y over 1. So your final answer will be 4y over 1, but that's the same as just 4y. No. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you could go directly to the answer. Can I skip? Yeah.
So we get the same answer if we did.
Yeah, you would get the same thing. Okay. Can I skip? Okay, example number 6. What happens if I give you the following? 2xy What happens if I've got a division sign? I've got two fractions and there's a division. What's the first thing that can I cancel out from here? Before I cancel out, I first have to make this sign a multiplication sign. And what happens if I change that to a multiplication sign? Yes, the fraction just after that division sign will have to flip. So those are going to switch around. So meaning I would have 2xy over x squared. Can you see the one in front of that division was not changed at all? It stayed the same. Now the division I changed to multiplication, which means that these two have got to swap around. So now I'm going to have x over 8y. No, you guys fine? And from here on, it would be normal steps. So I would then say this x, let's do up and down first. That x can cancel out with this one. Let's do a cross. This y can cancel out with that y. And 2 will go into itself once, and 2 will go in 4 times. And this x can cancel out with that one. Do you see that I've looked at up and down and then across? Okay, cancel out as much as you can. So if you look at what was left, what's going to be my final answer? A quarter. Good. I'm just going to take out all these. Okay, so this will be equal to 1 over 4. Okay, any questions? Right, then homework. Yes. Exercise 2.3, which is on page 22. And you are going to do number 1 up until 3. Okay, but you've got to do every single one of them. Okay? You guys good? Right, you can get started on that.